What is going on, everyone? My name is Boyd, and as you can tell by the title, I am back. Well, I'm always back, but I am back with some more Age of Mythology, the Tale of the Dragon. Is that what it was? I really hope I didn't just butcher what the expansion's called. But I'm back with some more news about that. I watched the stream, so this is pretty much relevant to all of you guys who watched the stream, or who didn't watch the stream. If you watched the stream, you probably know all this stuff, but I want to talk about what was teased last night at 2:30 in the morning my time, 11:30 midday their time. The life of being an Australian. What I noticed was some interesting things, like, for example, there was two myth units teased. The first one was a white tiger, and it honestly looks like it might be a third age myth unit. It might be even a fourth age myth unit. It looks pretty strong. It's got the Bellerophon special attack, which is a leap move. Also, it could also be the Anubis, Anubite special attack, or anything that kind of jumps. It has the leap ability, but it also moves. I think it moves pretty quickly. It didn't really get to see exactly what its move speed was because it didn't see the information on it. But my guess is it's got some speed because it's a tiger, and therefore it can definitely be a nuisance to those civilizations which use lots of archers as their main base of stuff. The other myth unit was called the Terracotta Soldier. It looked very similar to the Automaton. It even is based off the Automaton in that they literally took the unit and all of its stats and then put a new model on it. I don't want to say that it's a direct copy of it because it's not. When it dies, like a puff of smoke comes up and it's supposed to do some damage, so a bit of a scarab kind of idea there. If you didn't know, when a scarab dies, the poison blood that comes out of it actually does damage. So it's along those lines. It's going to be a classical age myth unit. Costs wood and favor, which means it's going to be a massable unit. It's not like the Automaton that costs gold. Because it costs wood, that means that you can build it alongside other things, which makes it so much more powerful than the Automaton is. Regardless of stats, just because it costs wood means you can add it to your army easily. This doesn't affect military production or villager production if it costs wood. If there's anything you understand about this game, stuff that costs wood is generally just better by default. What's next that was interesting? This is going to be pretty short, but there was one god power teased. It's not ready yet, so it didn't actually exactly demonstrate what it's going to do. But what they said that it does is it's called Call to Arms. I think it's a archaic god power, and therefore only will be for one of the gods, and it's going to duplicate units. I don't know how many. I assume it's going to be based off HP. That would make sense. And if it's not, and it's just based off a unit count, then that could be very abusable. You just build a bunch of really fat units and then use it, and you get a lot more of those fat units. And you also get 3 charges of it. I don't know if there's going to be a cooldown on it. It looked like there wasn't, but I assume because it's still in beta, that could be a thing. Let's hope that there's some sort of cooldown on it. What's next? Mounted archers. Look, I don't know about this one. They look like a mix between Terma and Chariot archers, and that's not necessarily a good thing, right? Like, mixing two really strong units together for another one, scary. It's very scary. I hope that it's a heroic age unit, but it looks like it's going to be a classical age unit. And the other thing that's kind of scary is that I think it counts as cavalry, which is really weird considering chariots kind of already counter cavalry in a weird way. like, that's like a high level of thinking when you say chariots counter cavalry, but because of their mobility, they can move around and kind of kill hippocons and stuff really easily, and definitely Norse will have an issue against them if they're a classical unit. The Chuko no look like, basically, they look like a version of the Chariot Ballista that the Atlanteans have, but it's in the form of just like a unit which is going to be a bit quicker than a Chariot Ballista, I guess. I'm not sure exactly what count is, I can't remember, but that's interesting. I think the other thing that's going to be cool that I really hope they add in, they kind of teased it when they said, when somebody asked about whether they can have like a super unit or something that you can cheat for. They said they don't have that specific unit, but there's like a monkey or something you can get. So hopefully there's going to be some new cheats, so that'll be a little bit of fun for the single player players, and just a bit of fun to play around with in the multiplayer games where you can tick that cheats on button. I remember when I was a kid, I used to love playing with cheats, and it'd be interesting to just see like the extra things they put in. That's just a bit of fun. The way that I don't think I actually already talked about it, but the theme is China, right? Obviously it's China. Tale of Dragons is all Chinese themed mythology. Before I get onto any more, I'm going to tell you about what the gods were, which I cannot remember for the life of me. That is unfortunate. They're three gods. I'm gonna like put an annotation right now in like the top corner, and it's gonna say what the gods are, because that's not good enough. Well, but they're three Chinese gods, and they said that they're heroes, which they were apparently in Chinese mythology they were like units which like not units, they were like people who were like in charge or something. I don't know. And then they evolved to the rank of like deity, or not deity, but like, you know what I mean, like whatever. Anyways, the garden is the new building which I believe replaces the temple for China. It might not be, it might just be another building similar to the monument, which you just build and it gives you more favor. But from my understanding, they didn't outright say it, but from my understanding, it looks like the garden is a temple, and it gathers favor. I don't know if it gathers favor by itself, or if you need to task villagers onto it, similar to the Greeks. But it could be either. It could be anything really. They didn't really say exactly how it worked. Their storage, like the way that they gather resources, is very similar to the Greeks, Egyptians, and to some extent Norse. That they have to like drop their resources off. It's not like Atlanteans at all, which is a good. I like to see that. And yeah, they're you know how like we have a storage house for like Greeks and granary, and then the Egyptians have the mining camp, lumber camp, and granary as well, etc. That the Chinese only have one drop site, so they can place, if they have three resources right next to it, they can place one thing down and they're going to drop off in that thing, which is inherently unbalanced because nobody else has that but Norse, and they're kind of like detracted because of it. Like it's like cost them a population to have that, so it's kind of it's kind of a little bit interesting that they've gone down that route. But it shouldn't have too much effect on anything. So that's fine that they've done it. It should be fine. And yeah, so that's the storage bit. It's everything drops off in it, so that's cool. I think the really cool thing that they're doing is they're making a fully voiced campaign, which is something that I will definitely play and hopefully enjoy. And I'll probably even do like a web series or something on that. It'll be fun. They're gonna have their villages, as I said earlier, are going to be based off the ones from the newer games. They're going to have some heroes as well. So there was the priest, which you would have seen on the stream if you watched the stream, and it can convert units and heal. I don't think that the converting of units is going to be a very big factor, considering the units die so quickly in battle that you can't convert something in a battle. But if it's just a priest on a unit, the unit's probably going to be able to kill the priest before it can convert, which I guess is an issue in itself. But we'll see what happens with that. The fact that they can heal is enough to say that they'll be decent. Unfortunately, I don't think they can attack, so I think what would be interesting if they could attack myth units, convert human units, and that would be cool. But obviously they're making the game, not me, so we'll see what they do with that. The other heroes that they teased, they didn't really say anything about it in the gameplay, but they teased it and they said there's going to be a general or generals. I'm not sure if there's one or more that can boost your army in similar to Arcantos, I think. In the campaign, and there's going to be an immortal, which apparently is going to have a unique twist, which is good to see that they're going to do something new. Hopefully it is in line with like the game and it doesn't break it. It's going to have, I believe you're going to be able to have 8 of them, so we'll see what happens there. And finally, the last thing I noticed, and I believe they said it somewhere in the start where I wasn't paying attention, was there's some new wild animals, and I think one of the cool ones that they've got is called a panda. It looks pretty similar to the polar bear, but with like a different style. I like that. I like this, but I wish that they would try and make some stuff with their own models, so that you can't kind of relate it to stuff that's already in the game, and make it feel more like a real, expansion rather than like a bunch of modders making an expansion. Like if you ever played the Lord of the Rings game, like all of their units were kind of like just a mod of the Israelites. But regardless, I'm excited for this game. There's some really good testers on it, so hopefully they listen to the Mr. Magic, etc. Nakamura. My name is Boy. Thank you guys for watching. And if you got to this far in the video, stick around because there's going to be some rag series coming up in the next day. And I will catch you guys next time.